during like Thanksgiving, you would be talking. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just killing my players real quick. And I'm like, what? Like,
Oh, they're characters, not the people. Don't worry.
welcome back to Ordinary Fantasy Versus Recap. Versus is a series where us as friends play games that are picked by our sometimes not so friendly AI, the Game Decider. So far, the Game Decider has picked games like A Link to the Past and Lego Jurassic World. The Game Decider does pick randomly, and I thought it was going to repeat itself and surprise us all because it hasn't, well, repeated itself before. Instead, it did also surprise us all because it picked Astroneer, which was kind of the underdog game. It only had like, I think 38%. All of us had different reactions, though I was a little excited because I actually have done some speedruns of this game. A little bit ago, I tried to get to space as fast as possible, and I did it in 14 minutes. Getting to space meant obviously like building a rocket, and Astroneer has many planets you can explore, and that is kind of the main draw of this game, so yeah, I felt pretty excited. Also, the second thing that made me feel really excited about this game was Dakota and I actually have tried to race this game before, and while we never finished, I was pretty ahead when we did, and we basically decided I won. So while I didn't have a strategy exactly, I did feel pretty confident. Alex, however, felt less confident. Silo for each item.
I'm screwed. God, I spent the entire time we streamed this game riding on your coattails. I don't know anything about this game.
Good thing there's a pretty good wiki for it.
Oh god, I'm screwed.
To be fair, Astroneer has been a staple on our channel for a while, and Dakota and I have had many more hours played than Alex. Wait a second here, what? Wait, no, go back to Alex, Wait, Alex has more hours played than us? That's, something's fishy here. Now would be a good time to clarify the rules of this challenge. We have to do 100% the game. To clarify, in this game, we can use guides just because otherwise I don't think I would remember everything that's in this game. But what I mean by 100% is that we have to unlock all the planet's gateways, or in more technical terms, the cool purple teleporting thingies. We also have to have a container full of every single resource, and there's over 40 of them. Also, a container I think can hold like 400, so you can do the math and you can find out that that's a lot of stuff that we have to have. We also have to complete all the missions, and we also need to research every single thing that we can build. So, safe to say there's a lot of stuff we need to do. After a brief sound check, we all launched to our planet. Well, okay, some of us launched a little more into the planet, but we all made it safely. I was honestly a little unhappy with my landing spot. I knew from the speedruns I did, it was important to have compound resin and a quick way underground. All I had was possibly a quick way underground, so it was a pretty lousy start. If this was a speedrun, I would have restarted with my save because I wasn't sure how to salvage this game, which, by the way, was all Dakota was doing at this point. Most of our early gameplay was just us trying to figure out how to play the game again since it's been a few months. Like I said earlier, I did not have a strategy. I don't think any of us did, so I guess it was kind of even playing field. However, I do remember that there is a very major strategy point in this game that I need to exploit, although there is a mythical tale about it. Legends say there is a mythical ice planet in this game. Rumors surrounding it speak of its great wealth of resources and currency in forms of resource points. But beware of the beast that roams this land, spewing toxic clouds of gases, and will shoot at you if you even get too close. Only those with a gift of bravery will unlock the secrets of this planet. I'm talking about Glacio, of course. You see, Glacio has a bit of a reputation of being, well, progression breaking for this game. Mostly because you can get so much resource points from it that you can nearly unlock everything in the game from just this one planet. And while I did kind of play up its supposed danger, it's honestly not that much more dangerous than Sylvia is, which is your starting planet. So this is my plan. I'm going to rush to get a rocket ship, then fly to Glacio, then set up a camp and sit there until I just have all the research unlocked. Or, well, maybe at least most of it. While I was coming up with this plan, Dakota was communing with the plant gods.
Surrounded by plant. Hi. Wait, what? Usually
okay?
Cauldronangia. Okay, so it needs sturdy squash samples and it makes a squashaline.
A who?
Kanzudite? Also, Alex and I reminisced about past high school experiences. Shooting dodgeball, that's too dangerous. And then we
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like we were doing musical chairs, I remember, because I was the one actually controlling the music. while other people were doing dodgeball. And after that day, I was like, okay, fine. I don't really care anymore. Music, like, it wasn't necessarily the kid or the student musical chairs round. It was the teachers musical chair round where it's just like I was scared.
Oh, they meant business. Like they were in it to win it.
And then Alex almost suffocated.
Oops, I might suffocate.
Oh no.
Oops, I might suffocate.
What's life without a little, like, CO2 poisoning? We took our break, and Alex's cat, Garfield, needed attention while Dakota and I continued. Alex returned, and my plan wasn't going exactly how I hoped it would. I see my tether. No!
Oh.
My tether was right there.
So
Shut up. No, shut up.
Died
no,
3 times.
no, shut up.
We've died 0.
Guys, stop.
Dakota started
I'm
it.
gonna stop dying since I have it.
To be honest, dying in this game wasn't terrible, and really didn't seem to set me back that much. I decided it would be best to take a small detour from making a rocket ship to open up the first gateway in Silva. What gateways are basically teleporters in this game. However, I can't really use it yet because I have to get to the center of the Earth, or of Silva, I guess, to be more precise. And I would prefer to have some other objects before that, most notably a drill for a vehicle. Would be really useful to do that. Most of the reasons why I did it was because I just didn't want Dakota to do it first. Normally, I don't try to lead in versus. This is because the second place competitor gets a 10-minute head start and the third place competitor gets a 20-minute head start. I usually would rather get a head start instead of being first because I feel like I can get more done and head start than having to just twiddle my thumb and wait. Though this game felt a little bit different because I do have a history of speedrunning it. So I guess it just might have been my pride getting to me and wanting to become first. Forgot to start the timer. It's off track anyway, so and we're good. I just did a thing.
Oh.
I just did a thing.
What did you do?
A thing that neither of you guys have done yet.
I was waiting for trailers.
Oh, I see.
Then all of us just kept on working on our goals. Now, I may be talking about a lot of what I did, but that's because I'm not really sure what everyone's plans are. Dakota seemed to be focused on missions the game gives you, while Alex was trying to just learn the game. Or so he says. Most of the time, I was focused on what I was doing that I barely looked over to Alex's or Dakota's screen. The only thing I knew is that Dakota might be ahead of me, and I didn't know how to feel about that at the time. Eventually, I built my rocket and blasted off. And launch.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
I said I was able to launch in 14 minutes before. Shouldn't it be surprising that I can do it in like 2 hours?
I'll just be here puttering along.
It's okay. I was first, but Dakota has been working on Scrap Heap, and I'm not really sure if Alex knows how to build a rocket, but I decided to head to Glacio. However, when I got to Glacio, it looked a little different. From what I remember, Glacio had these huge valleys. And these valleys were super useful. They were big enough to build a base, they usually had easy access to a cave, and just a nicer place to be in Glacio overall. But I must have orbited Glacio at least 5 or 6 times. I couldn't find one. Either it's just this save, or they changed Glacio. I can't really find it. I looked up on the wiki even. I can't find any changes they made. I decided to cut my losses and land near a gateway engine. It didn't give me that much space, but I was hoping I wouldn't need that much space anyways. Unfortunately, this was only the beginning of my problems on Glacio. There is a mission for building a shuttle and flying to a new planet. This item includes a power source and a shelter. Basically 2 things you need to make a base in this game. The idea is to set up a landing pad on the new base and receive those items in safe seas trip back to the home planet. Unfortunately, I forgot to attach an oxygen on my ship, which was one of the requirements for this mission. I didn't remember that was a requirement, but it did create a big problem for me. Naturally, my solution would just be to fly back to Silva, attach the Astroneer, then fly back to Glacio and then set up the base. I was being very stubborn though, and I really don't know why. Rather than doing the smart thing like I just described, I decided to stay on Glacio, thinking I could just find the resources I needed there, which I was unfortunately sadly mistaken. I couldn't find clay, which was the major thing I needed. I could find all the other resources, just not clay. This mistake made any bit of lead I had quickly crumble, and once Dakota the Scrapper built a rocket and flew to a new planet, my lead was quickly given to him. Alex, meanwhile, was having a great time just planting pumpkins. Now, while Dakota did build a rocket and go to another planet, he didn't go to Glacio, which I thought was a little weird. He went to Sylvia's moon, I believe is De Solo, instead. At this point, we were about ready to call it quits, and I decided to bite the bullet and go back to Silva to get the resources I needed. Dakota was still on De Solo, and Alex was still, I guess, planting pumpkins. I really don't know what Alex is doing. He's either the best Astroneer player and is just tricking us all, or he actually is telling the truth and there's just a glitch of steam about the 2 hours he has played. Like every single stream we do, we have to figure out who is first, who is second, who is third. In Lego Jurassic World, that was really easy. There's literally a percentage tracker built into the game. And well, A Link to the Past was a little bit more difficult because there is side objectives. It was still pretty easy to figure that out because it's mostly a linear game. This game is very opened and very, very hard to figure it out. So I made a percentage tracker after the fact, but for this, we just kind of all agreed that Dakota was ahead. I'm not sure if he actually is or not, but I'm pretty sure he's done more missions than I have, and we both have been to 2 planets. That's what I'm basing this off of, at least. And everyone else agreed with me. Or, well, Alex agreed with me. And that concludes the Versus recap for this week. If you want to see us compete live, we stream Ordinary Fantasy Versus every Saturday, starting at around 7:30 Central. Also, like if you think Alex has more experience than he's letting on. Anyways, that's going to do it. Bye! So many people, I swear, it bothered me so much. There was a power plant next to where we where our dorms were, and to be fair, I'm pretty sure the power plant was an actual gas power plant. Like, I'm almost certain it was. But every single person in my whole entire floor was like, no, it's a nuclear power plant. I'm like, why is it a nuclear power plant? It has those, like, you know, like those little like smokestack things that like emit steam. I'm like, oh, you mean like things every single power plants have, because you know how power plants work, right? And they're like, no, sort of. Like, yeah, no, I just know that nuclear power plants have those things. I'm like, every single power plant has them. Because every single power plant works off of steam. Like, the main ray up. Like, did you guys not read, like, the Magic School Bus books before you decided to become engineering majors?
Or watch the show?